Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who. Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest.
Here, and this is the new footage the FBI released of Leila Cavett. You know, the mom that was missing, Georgia mom missing. This is like Florida. The dude that they were accusing of being a witch, he's like from Alabama. There's just a lot going on. He's in custody. I want y'all to hear this video clip of him talking about how Leila's son had rotten teeth, as well as her being molested and being homeschooled. He just painted her as he's demonizing her character, something awful, you know what I mean? And you only do that when you're trying to dehumanize somebody, trying to paint them as somebody that's not worth it. He claimed he was giving her $3,500 for a pickup truck. Dude is just full of lies. Keep prayers out that she is still alive, but he's saying she has a drug problem. It's a lot going on. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amore-eka.com/TV. That's our Planet of Fakes 2. We are the new umbrella. Planet
of the Fakes for Women. And Pigstar HH News. FBI releases new footage of missing mom Leila Cavett. $10K reward for anyone who can help find her. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information that leads to the whereabouts of Georgia mom, Leila Cavett, who was last seen on July 25. As CrimeOnline previously reported, Cavett, 21, may have left Georgia with her toddler son, abruptly at night and drove to Florida for unknown reasons. During the morning hours of July 26, passerby Ebony Williams discovered Cavett's son, 2-year-old Kamdyn, wandering alone in a t-shirt and a dirty diaper outside of an apartment complex off of SW 68th Avenue in Miramar. After searching the area for the toddler's caretakers without luck, Williams contacted the police. "I heard the baby crying, so I walked over, and I realized he was by himself," Williams said. "I asked him, 'Where's your mommy?' and he kind of just like pointed everywhere." Kamdyn is now in foster care while family members are going through the legal process in an attempt to gain custody. Meanwhile, his mother remains missing. On Saturday, authorities arrested a person of interest in the case. Self-proclaimed witch Dr. Shanon Ryan was detained in Florida and arrested for lying to the FBI and kidnapping in connection to Kamdyn. The arrest report indicated a car that looked identical to Ryan's gold Lexus with a missing bumper was spotted on security footage by the apartment complex just moments before the toddler was found. A vehicle consistent with Ryan's gold Lexus is seen directly in front of the apartment complex where the child was recovered only minutes before the child was found. Ryan's Lexus is very distinguishable because it is missing the front bumper, the criminal complaint states. Unscrubbed. Ryan previously admitted that he was the last person to have seen Cavett in Florida, but said he didn't know where she was. Ryan allegedly claimed that Cavett and Kamdyn got into a dark sedan with several unknown black males on July 26 at 2:30 a.m. at a racetrack gas station in Hollywood. He said he hasn't seen her since. Investigators reviewed security footage of the gas station, which did not show LC leaving in a dark sedan. Further, investigators said Ryan went to Walmart and a gas station, where he used an
Listen, when I was younger, we were homeschooled, and my mother and my father molested us.
Her words, not mine. And I don't know if it's true, because I know I'm dealing with a liar, but I took her on her word. She didn't want her son in that environment. I go online, I said, well, Leila, right here on your profile, it says you got a sister. She works at Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know if she still works there, but she works at Dunkin' Donuts. Why can't we take you over there? And she was like, I can't go over there because when I went over there, she made me and my son sleep out on the porch. I said, Leila, your own sister, knowing you homeless, made you sleep on the porch with your 1-year-old son. That's what you want me to believe. And she was like, yeah, you know what? I believe it now. After seeing her action, I believe it. See, now, so Tiffany, that next day, took her around to all the homeless shelters in Muscle Shoals. One like 2 or 3 in a couple churches. And she came back, she's like, they don't want her there. They say she's been there, she's disruptive, she's a runner, and she don't want help. They don't want to deal with her no more. And they telling us, the woman told me personally, or told Tiffany personally, that if you deal with her, this is what you're going to deal with. Cool. You know, people say that they light workers. People say that they help us. People say that they heal us. But now, here I am with a woman with a 1-year-old baby. Let's talk about this 1-year-old baby. The baby's 1 year old and he already has rotten teeth in his mouth. And when she got up the next morning, she started feeding this baby cookies and candies and Skittles and honey buns, all the shit that she had been stealing. That's what she want to feed the baby for breakfast. I can see why his teeth is rotten. Leila, here's some breakfast. Here's some food. Here's some vegetables. Feed this to the child. Get this to the child. Oh, he don't want that. He won't can't. He likes to eat what I eat. This is the mentality that I'm dealing with. Okay. So I said, Leila, listen. I don't really just want to put you out on the street. I don't want to just put you back out there with this little boy and y'all homeless and you pushing the buggy. I said, I tell you what, you can stay here. I said, you stay here. Let me teach you. I teach you tarot. I train you. I even help you start off your own business if you want. Whatever you want. But so you ain't got to be out here with you and your son pushing these streets trying to find out where you're going next. Leila decided to stay.
When I said I was a mastermind, I didn't stutter, and then I back it up. So whoever the FBI think that they got is smarter than me, they can get a whole team together. Because I told you the truth. And if you don't want to accept the truth, that's not my fault. I'm right here. And I ain't running from shit. So now if you think I'm guilty, come get me. Keep my name out your mouth. Put some respect on it. Know who you pronounce it. Know what you pronounce it. Where did you get that name from? Who taught you how to pronounce that? Keep playing with me. You don't know what I know. You only know what I tell you. Let's talk about that.
Hi, and welcome back to Red Rum Media. I know a lot of you have been following the missing persons case of Leila Cavett, so I wanted to update you with the latest piece of information that I found out within just the last few hours. Just a few days ago, we posted a video of a man claiming to be a person of interest in the missing persons case, and they stated that the FBI was trying to contact them. There's not too much that we know about this man, other than what he's claimed himself, but some of the claims that he's made are very telling. Like, he says that he met Leila about a year ago, and that her and her son actually lived with him and someone he was dating or one of his friends. Maybe even his apprentice, I think he said. I can't remember. Also, it was said that Leila was allegedly supposed to be selling this man her truck, you know, the truck that was found after Leila went missing, for $3,500. He says that he gave her $3,000 in cash right before she disappeared, but that she never came back, and the deal was she was going to come back and she'd get the other $500 when they cleaned out the truck together. But again, Leila never came back. So what we know now is that this man was avidly posting on Facebook his innocence and all kinds of things. He was actually enjoying the attention. And I found out early this morning that this man has actually been arrested. As you can see, he has been charged with 2 counts of lying to a federal agent, and he is also on a marshal's hold right now. I'm pretty sure this is his latest mugshot. As you can see, he was arrested sometime about midnight or so on the 15th or 16th of August and was booked shortly after 1 a.m. on the 16th. We cannot 100% confirm that this is in regards to Leila's disappearance, but the sequence of events is kind of playing out and telling us exactly what's happening. So we will keep you up to date with the latest. And as always, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to Leila and her family, and ultimately we do hope that she is found safe.
With that being said, anybody else feel like I'm guilty? I can give a f***. You need evidence that say I'm guilty. Your words don't mean shit. They don't stand up in court. Only truth stands up in court. Yeah, and truth takes eyewitnesses. So now I tell the FBI to get all their cameras together that I pointed at, and I told them to look at so they can verify my innocence. Because my innocence is the only thing that I have to stand on. The only thing I got to do is tell them where my whereabouts were, where I was located. That's all I'm concerned about. You know, at this time, when they came to me interviewing me as if I'm a witness. But now they treating me like a suspect. Oh, you want to go visit people from my past and go knock on my family and say he kidnapped someone or he murdered her or she got to be murdered because he's missing. See, so you treated me like a suspect. So now I'm going to act like a suspect too. Don't ask me shit. Because you wanted to ask me, when I called the FBI officer, he would have talked to me. He blew me off. He didn't want to talk. He wanted to play these.
I reached out my hand for him. He grabbed my hand, and I just walked around the complex hoping that I would find somebody looking for him or calling his name.
Our detectives have been working tirelessly, knocking on doors, stopping people that are driving by the neighborhood, handing out flyers. We have posted his image and video on our social media pages and have shared it with the news media as well.
Any plans to come to Florida? We're very confused right now. I definitely just want to know that my sister is okay. That's our main concern and only concern right now. Reach out to any one of us. Everyone is so concerned. We just want you home.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Red Rum Media. I just wanted to bring you the latest updates on Leila Cavett and her disappearance. We are now finding out that the suspect who has been held in her disappearance is actually being held on 2 counts of lying to a federal agent. And there were also documents that were filed today, August 17th of 2020, in federal court in the Southern District of Florida. And those documents allege that he's also being charged with kidnapping, and that kidnapping charge, as you can see in the documents, and as I will read in a few minutes, actually pertains to Leila's son, Kamdyn. So here's the latest information that we have found out at this time. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that Leila is going to be found alive. Some of the most important key takeaways from the affidavit in support of criminal complaint: on July 26th of 2020, between approximately 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m., a 2-year-old child, later identified as K.A., was located wandering alone in an apartment complex in Miramar, Florida. Law enforcement posted a photo of the child online and through social media in an effort to identify it, and determined that she was driving a white GMC 3500 pickup. A license plate reader check showed that her vehicle was last seen at a Walmart parking lot at the intersection of State Road 7 and Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, Florida, on July 27th of 2020. Law enforcement set up a surveillance, and on July 28th of 2020, Ryan approached Elsie's truck with keys in his hand. Ryan was subsequently interviewed and stated that he had known Elsie since approximately January of 2019, and among other things, Elsie was coming to Florida to sell him her truck. Ryan told law enforcement that he had paid $3,000 cash for the truck. According to Ryan, Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood at approximately 2:30 p.m. on July 25th of 2020. Ryan told law enforcement that he went to Fort Lauderdale Beach with Elsie and her son that afternoon in his 2004 gold Lexus while leaving her truck behind. Ryan told officers that when the 3 of them returned to the racetrack gas station, they parked at the pumps. Ryan further advised law enforcement that at approximately 2:30 a.m. on July 26th of 2020, Elsie and her child left in a dark sedan with several unknown black males. Ryan advised that that was the last time that he ever saw Elsie. Law enforcement reviewed the video surveillance footage from the racetrack gas station to determine whether Elsie left that morning in a dark sedan. The video surveillance did not show Ryan's car at the pumps where he described it, nor did it show Elsie leaving in a dark sedan. Law enforcement continued its investigation and obtained video surveillance footage from the area where K.A. was recovered abandoned. A vehicle consistent with Ryan's gold Lexus is seen directly in front of the apartment complex where the child was recovered, only minutes before the child was found. Ryan's Lexus is very distinguishable because it has a missing front bumper. Additionally, the surveillance video from the racetrack gas station shows Ryan's car leaving the gas station at approximately 8:15 that morning and returning at approximately 8:38 a.m., which is consistent with the time frame in which the child was abandoned and recovered. Law enforcement also noted that the racetrack gas station is a short drive, less than 3 miles, from where the child was recovered. Law enforcement was able to retrieve historical cell site information from Sprint for the phone that Ryan was confirmed to be using at the time. The responsive records show that Ryan's phone was utilizing a tower in the area where the child was abandoned at the same time the child was abandoned and his car was observed on video surveillance. So at some point they determined that Ryan was actually using Leila's debit card. Eurofiant specifically reviewed 2 separate purchases made by Ryan on July 26th of 2020 at Walmart at approximately 9:42 a.m. after the child was abandoned. Video surveillance and store receipts show that Ryan was purchasing hefty, strong 39-gallon extra-large trash drawstring bags and 2 boxes of extra-strength carpet odor eliminator. Approximately 15 minutes later, video surveillance and receipts show that Ryan went back into the Walmart and purchased a roll of advanced strength duct tape. On his Facebook social media account, discussing the relationship with Elsie, in which he made a statement about covering a window on Elsie's vehicle with a garbage bag because the window was broken and damaged. Law enforcement reviewed surveillance footage of Elsie's initial arrival and was able to determine that all of her windows on her truck were intact at the time. Additionally, the rearview mirror of the truck appeared to be mounted and intact. a federal search warrant was subsequently sought and executed on Elsie's truck. Law enforcement searched the truck and observed that the driver's side window was broken and the driver's side visor was bent out of its ordinary position. Law enforcement interviewed J.M., a friend of Ryan's. J.M. advised law enforcement that he saw Ryan on July 26 of 2020. J.M. advised that Ryan attempted to sell him a white GMC pickup truck for approximately $1,000. J.M. advised officers that Ryan told him that a girl from Georgia drove it to Florida. On August 15th of 2020, a federal search warrant was executed on Ryan's Lexus. Law enforcement located a half-empty container of all-purpose cleaner with bleach, numerous black trash bags, and a white powdery substance under the front passenger seat. Law enforcement conducted interviews of several employees at the racetrack gas station in Hollywood, where Elsie was last seen. An employee recognized a picture of Ryan and told law enforcement that they had seen Ryan using the racetrack dumpster. An additional employee specifically remembered seeing children's toys and women's clothing inside the dumpster on or around July 26th of 2020. The employee recognized a distinct pair of floral pants worn by Elsie in a picture shown to them. Law enforcement recovered video surveillance footage from July 26th of 2020, where Ryan can be observed parking his Lexus in front of the racetrack dumpster. August 15th of 2020, a federal search warrant was executed on the iPhone Ryan was using and had in his possession. A forensic extraction of the iPhone revealed Google searches from July 26th of 2020. Specifically, law enforcement recovered a Google search at 12:01 a.m. for "What day does commercial garbage pickup for Hollywood, Florida?" Additionally, law enforcement recovered another search at 1:45 a.m. the same day for "Does bleach and alcohol make chloroform?" According to the National Institute of Health, chloroform is commonly used to incapacitate a victim by rendering them unconscious. Law enforcement interviewed numerous witnesses, including her family members, who indicated that Elsie would never leave her child with anyone. Additionally, law enforcement learned that Elsie was still breastfeeding. Law enforcement has reviewed Elsie's social media accounts and determined Elsie used Facebook Messenger as a regular means of communication with friends and family prior to her disappearance. Upon review of her social media after July 26 of 2020, law enforcement has learned that there has not been any activity on her accounts. They further go on to indicate that Ryan's Lexus, bearing an Ohio tag, was manufactured outside the state of Florida and had traveled in interstate and foreign commerce. Based on the training and experience further supported by foregoing facts, I respectfully submit that probable cause exists to believe that beginning on July 25th of 2020 and continuing through July 26th of 2020, Shanon Ryan did knowingly and willfully kidnap, seize, confine, abduct, and carry away K.A. with the intent to collect a ransom, reward, or other benefit, and had held the victim for that reason, and used a facility or an instrumentality of interstate or foreign commerce in committing or furtherance of the offense is violation of Title 18. We will bring you new information as it becomes available, as I don't think this is the last that we're going to hear about the disappearance of Leila, especially since it appears that Leila has not been found at this time. If everything is accurate and correct that has been alleged in the affidavit, it sounds like they have a good start on finding out maybe where some of their belongings might be, but at this time, it does not appear that they have either recovered those items or they have recovered Leila. As you can imagine, there's a lot of trash that goes into a landfill, so it may be rather difficult to actually find anything at this point, but they have a good start by obtaining surveillance and by obviously interviewing all the witnesses that they have. I'm glad that they have been able to finally put someone behind bars, and our continued thoughts and prayers are with Leila, her son, and her family and friends.
Leila. And so y'all, it's a tough situation to deal with at the moment. There ain't nobody really watching right now, but it's a really tough situation thinking about what's going on with Leila. Like, y'all excuse my lack of eyebrows. I look ridiculous. But ever since I found out she went missing, that's the only thing I've been thinking about is Leila in her situation. And I've been following the whole situation with Shanon Ryan and the FBI and all of that. Been following all of that, and I keep going back and looking at all the things that Shanon Ryan has said on his Facebook page. Hey. But there's a lot of deception and a lot of the things that he has said on his page. I don't know if many people have seen it, but it's kind of obvious that he has something to do with it from the jump. Like, a lot of people, they really didn't pay too much attention to it. And I'm guessing the FBI decided to start doing their job at this point, because we got a lot of information now that we should have had a long time ago. But anyway, I want to talk about the video that Shanon Ryan had put up of him speaking on his connection, which I feel like he lied in a lot of the video, but he was speaking on his connection that he supposedly had with Leila, which I feel like that connection he claimed that he had in the beginning when he said that Leila randomly showed up to his door. I feel like that whole situation was a lie. From that point all the way up until they met back up with each other in Florida, I feel like that whole thing is a lie. Dead ass. Which, I mean, you can tell he's done lied about a lot of the stuff to federal officers, to the FBI, to Hollywood Police Department, to everybody. That man is a liar. That's all he does is lie. And I don't know how a lot of people didn't catch on to it beforehand, but it's about time that the FBI done let out enough information so that people could understand that this man was full of it. And I knew it from the jump because, like, he shows in the video he's not right. I mean, anybody from Walker County is going to know somebody who is on drugs, for one. When you look at the way this man is bouncing around and everything, he looks like a fool. He looks stupid. He looked like he lying and that he's guilty of something. And a lot of people did not understand that part. He said that Leila came to his door randomly with a buggy, emotional, and that she had back to her mom, her dad's, because we are Leila comes and go has somewhere to go. She's not just gonna live out of a buggy like an actual homeless person. And then he claims that she didn't take, claims that she would give Kamdyn sweets first thing. That's not true, because Leila, she's real picky about what she does with her son. Then he claims that she would use her child as like a excuse my language in case any kids are watching this, a dick shield, so that when she would go and meet up with these guys, she would just play them out their money and wouldn't have sex with them. I don't know. I mean, if she did it the way she did it, then that's her hustle. That's how she does it. But anyway, so then he said that after that, she would steal from him. This is the part that I knew he was lying on. He said that she stole from him. If somebody comes to you, stays at your house, you're taking care of her and her child. She doesn't have a job, nothing like that. And she comes and stays with you and steals from you after leaving and going back home to visit people from home, and she steals from you. Why would you let her come back to your house? That part didn't make any sense. Stole all this stuff from you and you still let her come back to your house. You confronted her about it and then asked her if she wanted to stay. Why are you asking somebody if they want to stay when you know they stole from you? That part didn't make sense. Then he said that she was still homeless a whole year later. He hexed her, and that she was still homeless a whole year later. That's not true. because it's pretty clear that everybody knows that she was somebody in Georgia, whether it was her grandmother, her father, her baby daddy, or whoever she was staying with in Georgia. We all know that she was staying with somebody. We all know she was not homeless. So for him, it's false information. And then he said that, what did he lie about? He lied about when he was at Walmart. He said that they went to Walmart. He said they never went in, or I don't know, he might have said they went in once, but he never said that he purchased anything. Supposedly this man purchased bleach, trash bags, and duct tape. When he purchased those 3, after he did that, he went on Google and searched how to make chloroform, or I don't even know how you say that. Chloroform is the best way I know how to say it, but that's what you use to not drug somebody, but knock somebody out. Figuring out how to try to make that. It was on camera that he had Kamdyn right before Kamdyn was found. It was on video that he was at the same apartment complex about 5 minutes before Kamdyn was found himself. So you're telling me that you never let anybody know? The only places you went to was Walmart and the racetrack, right? But you never told nobody that you went to that apartment complex. You keep saying, look at the surveillance footage. Everybody's looking at the surveillance footage. The FBI looked at the surveillance footage. You were there. Why you say look at the cameras when you know the cameras are going to snitch on you? Then that's what people don't understand about the drug problem that this man has. Obviously, he has a drug problem because that's what people who are on drugs do. They sit there and they lie and lie and lie, and they go on about their lie and try to convince somebody. I bet you he's still not telling the truth about what happened to Leila. He knows what happened to her. And I'm really getting irritated about it because we want to know. You know, there's people here that actually do genuinely care for Leila. Might have fell out or something, but we all genuinely care for Leila, and we want to know what really happened to her. He's not telling the story. All we know for a fact is that he did drop Kamdyn off at the apartment complex because he was there around the same time Kamdyn was. And Leila's phone and Shanon Ryan's phone was pinging off towers that were close to the apartment complex around the time that Leila went missing and around the time that Kamdyn was found. So Kamdyn was not there at that apartment complex very long before he was found by somebody. And I think he wasn't found, that he was left there with whoever found him. And whoever found him knew Shanon Ryan, and they had already planned this out, because Shannon's not just going to leave a child right there like that. And he didn't get out of the car because I don't think they had any footage of him getting out of the car, just seeing his car go in there. Yep, he went to the Everglades or something like that in Florida. He sure did. Said he was going down there with the alligators, and that makes me scared. Say hey. But yes, he said that he was going to the Everglades to do something with alligators, but he also forgot to mention that he does sacrificial magic rituals. So yeah, he a fool, ain't he? Are you copying mommy? You are? I think he's telling you hey. Is that funny? What's that funny? Yeah. Oh, Zayla, no. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. That's funny? Is your brother that funny? Okay. He is. He a little sweetheart. But yeah, y'all. That man, he lied in a lot of his stuff. The FBI done caught on to him. But you still, like, what kills me about the whole situation is, bro, you still have people who believe that this man is telling the truth. Believe this man ain't got nothing to do with Leila. Now, at first, I will admit, I didn't. I'm trying to be serious, y'all, and keep talking. He's so goofy. It's never boring having 2 kids. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh man, what was I saying? I was on a good point too, making a really good point. Yeah. Goofy. What are you doing? It's you. Oh, Zaylin. You gonna put it back? Thank you. But, snap. Where was I for real, y'all? I suck at remembering things. But the whole situation really just scares me. Because I really cannot believe that it happened to somebody like we know. Like, you wouldn't think that it would happen to like one of us from around here in the country, or in Walker County. Someone from Walker County. Well, technically she's from Georgia, but she's from the county too, because we all know her. Oh yes, now I remember. This man, at first I didn't think that he was telling. Why is it when I get real good and juicy pieces that I want to say, you want to come over here messing with something? But this man, at first I didn't think that he even had anything to do with it, because even though he claimed that him and Leila had a connection with each other, he still couldn't even say her name right. He's calling her Leila Cavett or Cavett, and I mean, we know it's Cavett. But he kept saying Leila Cavett, and I'm like, if you know Leila and you took care of her for so long, how do you not even know how to say her name? That part never made sense to me. It did not seem right at all. Like, and then most of the video, you could tell he was lying in the video. Like, damn, I wish I could put it on here and show y'all. Those of y'all who ain't seen it, I wish I could, because that whole part is hilarious. Why is you messing with stuff? Don't make a mess. Good. Here go the other one. Y'all, ain't he just cute? I feel like they should already know most of this. You can find the video on Shanon Ryan's page. It's pretty far down though, because he's done shared a lot of posts and posted a lot of stuff, like, and some of the stuff that you read on his page, it wouldn't make sense. And this what kills me about him saying, I wanted to say this too. I wanted to let this be known too. What kills me about him claiming he's such a healing god and a healing witch and whatnot, doing all these good things. You okay? Now you faking. But all these good things. If you're such a healing doctor, a perfect witch doctor, then why are you on your live and on your Facebook page with all this negativity? Like, I've never seen somebody who was so at heart. Yeah, no, he didn't. I don't think he posted anything about Leila besides before we knew she was missing on the 26th. He posted something with her name in it, tagged her in it, and then turned around and went and changed her name to someone else's after we found out she was missing. But he's done posted things such as taunting the FBI to have the FBI come down there and get him. He said it in multiple videos as well, and on posts that he made. He has told the FBI either I will turn myself in or y'all gotta come get me. You gotta show me a warrant for my arrest. Like, and it's kind of obvious, like, well, if you're saying stuff like that, you already think that you're guilty. You already think that the court system is going to find you guilty. So obviously you did something, and you know that they're going to find out that you did something. I think that was after he made that video and after he talked to the cops and lied to them. Yes, when he was, and then when he was sitting here saying stuff, he would finish his sentences. You see how I just did that? That's the same thing he would do, and it was really weird. You could see it's on his page, the Shanon Ryan page, and after I get off this live, I'll post. I screen recorded the video just in case he tried to delete it, so I don't know. It should be still on his page, and you'll have to go pretty far down. But if it's not, I'm still going to post the video off of my phone so that you can watch it. And it's a very long video. It's like 45 minutes long. But the whole thing is just off. Like, the way he acts. And then, most of y'all know, I mean, if you've ever seen somebody do it, ever watched any cocaine movies or anything like that, there are people that will put cocaine and crack in the bottom part of their gum. And then you'll constantly see them licking down there. Because you know that I mean, that's how you know mainly that they put something right there in their chin. Because they'll keep... And that's all the dude kept doing the whole video. The whole video. That's all he kept doing. Then looking around, getting all up in the camera, and then backing up, and then back in the camera. And then, like, when y'all see it, y'all are going to know what I'm talking about. It'll make you feel creepy. It'll make you feel weird. Then not only that, but if he's supposed to be spreading this good energy to this girl that he's supposed to be healing that's in the hospital, first off, when you started healing her, why did she get even sicker? She got that much sicker when you supposedly started doing your spiritual healing over her and her body and her heart. So if she got sicker, you wasn't doing something right, or you was using the wrong chemicals for what you were doing. And if you're trying to send her good energy and good vibes, why are you on a live video on Facebook talking about how this girl gonna die? You supposed to be making her think that she's gonna be fine, that she's gonna live, that she's just sick at the moment and she's gonna get better. But instead, you're spreading to the world and her like she's not gonna see the video using your phone that she supposedly had. Telling everybody she's gonna die, she's gonna die, she's gonna die, she's in the hospital dying. You're supposed to be giving her good energy and good vibes. Why are you telling her that she is gonna die? I don't know. I have no idea if it has messed up. I don't know. Maybe it has, because maybe he went on there and deleted it. I don't know, but I'll post it when I get off of here. But that man, he you can tell that he's just a front. He just, that's what he does. He's fronting about his whole life and everything that he has going on in his life, because there is no way that you've been doing all this meditation and finding yourself, finding your inner self, and all of this healing and whatnot. Supposedly he's from Alabama. Most of the show's Alabama. See, with that man being in prison and all that, and I mean, if you go to prison and you do all that healing and meditation and stuff in prison, when you get out of jail, you're not gonna have anger issues like that if you really found peace. You're not gonna sit there like, out of all people, like if you know me, you know I cuss a lot, right? I cuss a lot. But I'm still one of those people that's like, I want to give other people my good energy, my good vibe. I want you to feel good like I feel good. If you're happy, I'm happy. If I'm happy, I want you to be happy. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you fucking bitches. Why? If you're this cool dude. I gotta read. I can't see. I'm blind. But if you're the ultimate healing witch and whatnot, why do you feel the need to just to that like I don't see how healing God or goddess, whatever he wanted to call himself, y'all. I'm telling y'all, this man is weird. Weird, like I don't even know how to describe it, and it just, what gets to me is Leila is one of those really good people that the good and her off, she's gonna be pissed off about it for a long time. Still will see, and I'm gonna use that to include, and then he also used his witch studies and whatnot to manipulate her. Situation experience. I've never been homeless, like necessarily homeless. I always had somewhere I could go. But if you're in a there's no somebody else can swoop in and manipulate you to make you think that you can trust them. What happened with Leila. That man manipulated her in her rough times, in her hard times, and eventually she got so trustworthy of him that she trusted him with her son. She trusted him with her life. Now, I do believe she did get into a black sedan, and I believe that Shanon Ryan knew who the people was that was driving the black sedan. Because for one, he lied about the time. He said that she got out the car and took Kamdyn with her and got in a black sedan and left, and it was like, what, 2 a.m.? So, nighttime, basically. Tried to sell that truck too. Well, I mean, well, yeah. I agree with you on that part. Yeah, he was mad at her. I feel like he was mad at her. Well, he used the three her down there for and he put all of so sat there and said that he has never been so angry to put on somebody but one time in his life. So angry with in your entire life, and it just so happened to be Leila because you told us that you did it, then why would you trust to bring this girl back into your presence? Why would you bring her bad energy and her bad vibes into your presence when you know that she did you wrong? And so he used the $3,000 to lure her back down there to Florida to meet up with him, had her thinking that they was all good, took her, probably did take her out to all these places and whatnot, because they got cameras from her being in there, pictures of her being in there, took her to all these places, made her think that they were on good terms, and then had these people come up there and get her, used chloroform, however the hell you say that, used that to knock her out, kept, oops, hey Dakota, I don't know how to fix that. My phone be tripping sometimes. But put her in the sedan, kept Kamdyn, and she dipped off with these other people. My thing is though, if he wanted to make something believable, what he should have done was gave a description, the best description he could of the two people that he was with. Hey, Brittany. Like, you could have given a description of these people that she got in the car with if you wanted to avoid going to jail yourself. Could have done that. But no, you decided not to because you knew that you was going to get caught if you tried to snitch on anybody else. I don't know why you would say that she got into a black car. Why you would give all this information when you knew when they go, no, she hasn't been found. But you knew they would go check these cameras. Just because you say, go check the cameras, that don't mean they're going to believe you. They going to go check them cameras. Just like how you kept telling them. I mean, this man really tried so hard to make himself seem innocent. It made him look guilty. Like, why are you getting on Facebook cussing at all these people? The citizens of America ain't what's gonna get you put in jail. The cops and the evidence on your ass is what's gonna get you put in jail. Like, this man is stupid. He's really foolish. And it's really annoying. Like, it was really getting on my nerves to see him all on the internet, free and everywhere else, while Leila is still missing. The more I think about it, y'all, I'm really hoping that ain't nothing happened to her. It's really, at this point, after everything opened up about the truth, about what he really has attempted to do to her, it's really hard to believe that she's still alive, in my opinion. Because it's just crazy. It's a bunch of craziness. And if she's still alive, then she is like losing her shit. She's probably been losing her mind this whole time. She probably thinks that Kamdyn is gone. She probably thinks, she doesn't, like, there's no way that they're letting her watch something. But if they're letting her watch the news and everything and watch Facebook and just not be able to talk to nobody, then they're basically torturing that girl, because she knows everybody's wondering what happened to her. And the only reason why I just hope that she is alive and well and healthy enough to be able to recover from whatever has possibly happened to her. I'm hoping that she is. Damn. That was gross. That was gross. Oh! Give you another bath. That's gross. Moral of the story, though, y'all. This man is disgusting. I really hope that she is okay, so that she can tell us what really happened to her. Because I feel like as long as she's not found, then he's not going to tell what really happened to her. And that's just the honest to God truth. I don't think he's going to tell what he really did. He's not going to give any real information, because if he's done lied this far, this far and still is not telling the truth, which we don't know what his statement is after he got arrested. We don't know what his statement is or anything. He might have done it alone, for real. And if that's the case, I don't know. She could be anywhere in the country at this point too, because he's done to Texas, then he was in Tennessee, then he was back in Florida, then all over the place, everywhere. She could be anywhere, whether alive or passed or hurt. She is somewhere. And yes, they are running out of time. Like, I feel like something, I get a good feeling out of not finding her body, at least, because I'm sure that they've looked places. They just ain't told us where they looked at, because all this information that they have, they figured out some of this information like at the beginning of the month, and decided to just release it. Like, they've been doing their investigating, but they haven't released all the information that they was going to. And I feel like by this time next week we'll have more information on what happened, and maybe we'll know what happened. No, he ain't gonna tell the truth. That's the only reason why I hate the fact that he's the only person that knows what really happened to her. Oh, goodness. Okay, you good. No, she's probably not in Florida. And if she is, she's at the Everglades. I'm just gonna be honest. If she's anywhere in Florida, she's in the Everglades. I feel like if they find her, it's gonna take a long time because he's done tried to cover his tracks wherever he's gone. So at this point, it's like, you never know. You really don't know. And the man don't realize they done found evidence of you lying. And evidence that connected to you and Leila's missing disappearance, I meant. And it's sad. Anywhere in the country. And it's sad. And this man still don't think he needs to tell the truth. Like, what about when this girl's son gets older and he wants to know what happened to his mama? This man literally had a 2-year-old in his presence with the mother and still separated the two and possibly harmed the mom. That just, you have no heart. And of course, when somebody asks you what happened, you're going to lie and you're going to stick with your lie until your grave. Because if you ain't got the heart to sit here and keep a mother and her son together, you ain't got no heart at all. And just drop a baby off. Just drop them off in an apartment complex. You knew something more. You knew something more than what you started telling people. You went on Facebook and made a whole video talking about how it couldn't be me because I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Leila was a thief. She was a crackhead. She was blah, 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 blah. Like, why are you throwing Leila under the bus when you were supposed to be her healer? You were supposed to bring good energy to her life. So why are you throwing her under the bus like this? Yep, they will. Yep, because they done already looked at wherever his phone's done pinged, and that's how they figured out that he was at the apartment complex around the same time that Kamdyn was found, because his cell phone pinged off the tower that was near that apartment complex. And then they said they saw him on surveillance video. And they also have surveillance video in the Everglades. I think someone said it was all throughout the forest, but either way, when you come into that area, they're gonna find out that you went into the area. I'm sure they'll have the videos, they'll have the tracking devices, and pull up all of that information. We're gonna find out what happened to her within this next week. I pray to God we find out what happened to her, because I really, it's just been too long. It's just been way too long, and it scares me because there ain't no telling what's been happening to her and where she has been. For her to have been gone this long, it's a good and bad direction that these things could go. Either he's just so good at hiding somebody, or she's like lost in the woods and don't know where she is and trying to find her way back. I don't know. There's so many scenarios going through my head, but the only one that I'm hoping is true or is not true is her being dead. I do not want her to be dead. I want to find her, because I feel like if we have not found her body, likely she's alive. Likely she's alive, but we don't know. It's very hard to tell. And it just took me, because I've been wanting to do this since I first seen Shanon Ryan's video. But it was so hard talking about the situation, because you can't act the same about talking about one of your friends that's your age, whose son is the same age as your son, and she really has been kidnapped by a grown black man who was in prison and whatnot, and this man claims that he's a god and he's a witch and he wants to heal somebody, and then just to turn around and go hurt this woman and then lie about yourself hurting this woman. You done already lied on yourself and told everybody the truth. Like, people already know that you had something to do with it. from the moment that you started trying to make yourself look innocent. What's the point in lying what's the point in lying from here on out? It just don't make no sense. Exactly, and that's the main thing I think about her sisters. They need to know what happened to her, because that's also thinking about her sisters and her mom and her dad. That's what kills me about this man claiming that that her family was just dysfunctional. First off, let me just say, every family these days is dysfunctional. We all have our problems, but that does not mean that we're any less a family. I mean, if Leila needed it, her family was going to be there the best way that they could to make sure they don't get screwed and that she gets help. I know her folks is going to be there. Her folks was always there with her. Always there for her, especially when Kamdyn was first born. So he sat there and he said that they were a dysfunctional family, and that when they were younger, this is where I know he was lying. This right here is where I know he was lying, because first off, the Cavetts and Gina, which she's technically a Cavett too, but they were all in school, always in school. This man put in his video that Leila told him that her and her sisters never even said sisters. She just said that her and her sibling. He said that her and her siblings were homeschooled and that her mom and dad would molest them. First off, if he really knew Leila, and he really took care of her for all that time, he would know that her mom and dad aren't together. That they haven't been together for a while. And that they've always gone to school, and that her parents lived in 2 different states. So how are they both going to be doing the same thing when they're in 2 different states and they're going to school? But he claimed they was homeschooled and both of their parents were hurting them. You lied. We know you lied. Because, and then if you know Tina, you know Tina is really... I'm sorry, that just sounds just like so absurd to me. Like, that's what makes me think that he don't know her as well as he tried to say he knew her. That's what makes me think that he was full of it a little bit, because there was no way that you knew this girl that well and you knew that this happened to her when everybody that knows them knows. That is not, that's not a possibility. How is that going to happen to her when it's just, none of it makes sense. Then he claims she was in Ohio. I don't know, I think somebody said she has ties to Ohio, but I didn't know of anything of her having ties to Ohio like that, except for like one family member maybe. I don't know. I can't say that she didn't. I can't say that she did, because I really don't know. But I knew that she had family in Georgia. I knew that's where they were from, because they always love to call themselves, her and her sisters love to call themselves some Georgia peaches. So I knew that I know they're from Georgia. Bunch of lies. Yep, he sure did. Just told a bunch of lies. Just to try to make it sound good. Just to try to make it sound like he was telling the truth. Try to make it sound believable. I can't stand that, man. Because it's just so sad. It's like, if you're going to go and break the law and do stuff like this, and you know you're not finna get away with it, and you know they finna go and look at these cameras and see you in these areas that you did not tell them you were, why are you continuing to lie? Like, I'm going to be so upset if they release a statement that he made and he still does not tell what really happened. That's going to be the most irritating thing. Because at this point, it's over with, bro. You're going to be in jail. Either way, you're going to get locked up for something. If you didn't want to go back to prison, you should have left the girl alone. Ain't no telling what he really did to the Christina Lawson girl, because she ain't made, as far as what I know, she ain't made no statements at all. Say what's up. Oh, no, I didn't say get it. I said what's up. But as far as I know, she ain't made no statements. I ain't seen nothing about her saying anything. And I think it would be really important for her to open up and let the people know what her relationship really was to Shanon Ryan. It couldn't be too good, because if it was, she would be on the internet trying to defend him. She would be trying to defend him any way she could if she felt like he didn't do anything wrong. If she really felt that way, and that's who he was down in Hollywood, Florida for, but yet he was down there, and but supposedly he was in Hollywood, Florida for this girl. Yet when Lila was with you, if they're both supposed to be your employees, your apprentices, then why would you not introduce your apprentices? Her name, the girl that's in the hospital, her name is Christina Lawson, but I think her Facebook name is Yasha or Yuki Yasha, something like that. Some weird name. I don't know. But her name is Christina Lawson, and she's originally from Hollywood, Florida. Now, when he was in his video, what everyone else says is that she's in the hospital because she has leukemia. She has cancer. That's what they say. She has leukemia. But what he said is that she got a heart transplant, and that her body started rejecting the heart that they put inside of her body. So that's why she got really, really sick and had to go back to the hospital. And then on top of that, she has cancer. So this girl is in the hospital, has cancer. Now she lets you borrow her car, which he didn't say this. The police department released this evidence. He was using her car and her debit card. So you mean to tell me she has a debit card in her name and she has a car in her name, but she ain't got no phone in her name? You have to give her a phone. She has everything that you need to get around, except for a means to call you. And then you have multiple phones, supposedly. So why do you have multiple phones, for one? Two, why are you the only person she needs to talk to? Don't she have family? She has a father. So why is he the only person that she has to talk to, that she can go and talk to? Why do you... I don't understand. I don't understand that part of the story. That part didn't make no sense at all. For him to sit there and say that that it was wrong for them to take that phone because that's the only means she has to get in contact with him. Why does she need to be in contact with you anyway? Like, I'm not understanding that part. It just didn't make no sense. None at all. But this Christina girl, if she come forward and relationship with Mr. Shanon and what happened, like, we would know a little bit more about him, to be honest. I feel like we would have a lot more information than what we need. I mean, like, it's just that, like, she has worked with him. She has worked with him. So out of all people, she knows best what's really done. So if she ain't said nothing, it's likely because she's trying to cover for this man so that he doesn't get in trouble for anything. But already gonna get in trouble. The FBI and the police department, they should do their little lying thing and tell her, oh, you're gonna go to jail if you don't snitch on Mr. Shanon. We're gonna charge you too, or something. I mean, just like, come on now, get the information out. The people her family needs closure. Her son, when he gets older, if something has happened to her and she is no longer able to be around for her child, when he gets older, he's gonna want to know why his mama is not there. He's gonna want to know, and he deserves to know. Because if he doesn't really know what happened to her, imagine what could go through that boy's head. I mean, shoot, I could, because all this stuff going through my head at the moment, I couldn't imagine what would go through that baby's head, especially years later, and the same evidence ain't nowhere near. I feel like the FBI should have got involved a couple of days after she went missing, like really immediately, and find some more. I really don't know who has the baby. Actually, I failed to keep up with that part. They had a court hearing on the 13th. But other than that, I'm not sure how that went. I'm really hoping Well, somebody said that he was no longer in Florida in CPS custody, that he is now here in Alabama. Yes, he was. He was in a foster family in Florida, and I'm not sure if he's with a foster family or with his actual family. The baby dad did what? I don't know what I said. His daddy actually, I wouldn't really recommend. I mean, I don't know his dad personally, but I wouldn't really recommend for him to go with his daddy, considering that there's a lot of stuff supposedly on him that would not support him being a very good present father. I mean, I don't know. He ain't really been too present this whole time anyway, otherwise he would have had Kamdyn in his care whenever that crap happened. Whenever that crap happened, when he was born and all that. That's not my information to tell. I wonder who said that. She said that they said they won't give him to the family because they need proof that he's her child. I mean, honestly, there's more than enough proof, because you don't see that baby with nobody else like that. Mainly, the only person you see that baby with is Leila. It's pretty, which, on top of that, no, the only proof that they need is the birth certificate. She's on the birth certificate as his mother. So that, I mean, that's enough right there. They can pull that up in their own system and everything. I mean, they can pull up the records when she had him and some more. It was August 2nd, 2018. They can do that. No, I think they said that the family can't get him until they like take a drug test or something and go through like investigation or something to make sure that they're like stable enough to keep the baby, I guess. Which I feel like the baby, there's no better place for him to be than right there with Gina and them. I mean, that's just how I feel. I don't feel like there's no better place for him to be than right there with his family. Yeah. These people are very stupid. Like people that act. There was. Oh, I don't know if many of you saw that. I kind of got into it with this girl on one of Tayana's pictures of her and Leila, because this girl got on her picture on Tayana's personal page, y'all. This had me pissed, okay? So, this girl got on a picture that Tayana had posted of her and Leila at Lila's pregnant belly with cancer and everything. And said, look at the fish tattoo on my sister's hand. Is that even Leila's child? Now, my thing is, I'm pretty sure that Gina, Tayana, and Leila, all three have a fish. I mean, I'm pretty positive about that. They all have a fish somewhere on them. It's like a little matching tattoo. So, Tayana's fish tattoo was showing on the picture where she was holding Leila's belly, and Leila's tattoo wasn't showing because obviously her hand was hidden behind her belly. But the woman, I guess she got the sisters mixed up, but she claimed she had been following the case and was feeling real bad and had been into it and was real emotionally attached to the case. But baby, if that's the case, how you don't even know what Leila's face looked like? Because it's obvious that that's Leila's face and her body with a pregnant belly at her baby shower. How you not gonna know that? Girl, get out. That made me so mad. I started going off on that girl. I was like, now how is you gonna sit here and try to say that is that even Leila's baby? That's messed up. That's messed up. Especially considering, why does that matter? The boy was still found without the woman that raised him, and she is missing. She has not been found. That's what you need to be worried about. This whole thing is, I've been wanting to believe that it's all fake. Like, I want to believe that this is all just for show. It's not that serious. It's which, I mean, I know Leila's not just gonna leave Kamdyn like that just to get some attention. But that's just what I that it is, you know, so that way I would know Leila's perfectly fine and in perfect health, and now she can come back home, and she'll probably have to get in trouble for a little bit. The case, and it kind of hurts my feelings. Like, it's such a scary situation. It's such a scary situation that this is really going on, and this man really and tried to convince everybody that he didn't do nothing to Leila. But you trying to convince people you were innocent is what made you look guilty. Looking at that man, y'all would never see me doing something like that. I don't trust people, and it would be really hard to trust somebody who acted like that. I'm choked to death. But my thing is, he claimed he didn't think that Leila did any drugs or anything. Baby, you smoking weed with her. If we know you smoking weed with her, even with her son right there beside her, then we know that if she was doing other drugs, y'all was doing them drugs together. Don't just put it off on her like, oh, I didn't know that she was on crack and I didn't know. If she was doing something and you was taking care of her all that time, I'm sorry, but a crackhead is gonna have they fix. No matter who they around. She ain't hide it from. I mean, come on now. I'm not understanding what this man think he's supposed to be convincing people of. Because, baby, all you convincing me is that you are a liar. And that you are deceitful. And that you need to go to jail because you did something to Leila. And we need to find out what it is that he did. That's what I'm really concerned about. I want to know what did you do to my friend? What did you do to her? Is she still here? And if she's still here, tell us how to find her before she goes. Before she leaves us. Because who's to say he ain't got her just tied up somewhere starving? And that she only has so long before she starves to death. And that's the reason why he been wanting them to put him in jail. A conspiracy. Maybe he's been taunting the FBI and the department for so long so that they would put him in jail because he just did not have the guts to go and kill Leila himself. Went ahead and had them lock him up just to wait for her to die out. If that's the case, God knows I'm hoping that he just breaks. He knows that she passes. But I wish he would just sedan that she really got into, and that was the last people that saw her. Why she get in there? Who was it? That's another thing that didn't sound right about Shanon's story. He claimed that he jumped out the car and walked over these guys that no, she don't like to party. Well, if you got out and told these guys she don't like to party, then you know what they look like. You know what they look like. So why trying to hide information? If you know what they look like, tell us what they look like since you're telling the truth. Tell us what's really going on. Tell us what really happened. What you really did. He ain't gonna tell it, y'all. That's the part that I hate the most about it. Because we need to know what happened. And you need to be in jail so that you don't do this stuff no more to anybody else. Dang, you just drunk my drink, didn't you? What are you doing? But I guess that's it that I'm going to cover at the moment. So I'm probably going to talk about it again whenever we get some. Right when I get it off. Go on my page and see the video surveillance cameras, where they were at, the purchases
Somebody knows something here, right? Somebody has seen something, somebody knows something, and maybe they don't even know what they know, but I think by keeping a bright light over this, maybe somebody will go, wow, I know what they're talking about, and I'm going to come forward. So
Exactly.
what were your original thoughts when you saw Kamdyn's picture?
It was just surreal, really. I couldn't believe what I was reading. At first, I just thought it was just a picture of him. I was just like, oh, he looks so cute. And then when I started reading it, I was like, oh, wow, this is way bigger than I thought.
And when did it hit you, just at a gut level, that, uh-oh, something bad happened to your sister?
Right. Immediately when I read the post, I was like, oh, wow. First of all, I don't know why she's in Florida. Second of all, she would never leave her son unattended.
Now, you posted on Facebook that you really feared that something like this would happen to Leila. What did you mean by that?
Well, I didn't mean that something bad would happen to her. I was just saying, like, as the oldest of 6, I've pretty much made it my mission and my dedication in life to make sure my siblings are okay. And it's like, this is like a horror film. Still doesn't seem real to me right now.
Oh, I can well imagine. And again, I'm so sorry that you're having to live through this. It's got to be a horrible couple of weeks for you. You two didn't have the best relationship recently. What had come between you?
Just life, really. She was living with me for a good period of time, and we just clashed a lot because I was always working and she wasn't, and that was really just that. It wasn't nothing like detrimental. It's just sibling.
Well, I grew up with 3 sisters, so I totally get what you're talking about. Now, you had Kamdyn in your care for a while, so describe him. What's he like as a child?
He's definitely very outgoing. He's extremely smart. He's known how to say his ABC since he was 1 year old. He loves his mom. He loves to eat. And he loves Baby Shark mostly.
Right. And when was the last time that you actually spoke to your sister?
The last time that we spoke to her was on the 17th, July 17th.
Okay. And is it like her personality-wise to make a plan? It sounds like for a couple of days she was selling some things, getting some money together, getting some money from her uncle to load up and head out of state to go meet someone. Does that sound like her?
I mean, it does and it doesn't at the same time. Like, she's an adult and she has made choices to move states before, but she's always told us that she was going to go. That was the biggest question. Like, she never mentioned it at all that she was traveling to Florida to anyone in the family.
So what surprised you was that nobody knew about it?
Correct. Even that she just didn't ask for money or anything.
But it doesn't surprise you that she would go meet someone that she had only known on the internet on a...
Oh, no, that definitely surprises me. I don't know her to do anything like that at all.
Okay, so that's out of character for her.
Correct.
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. A 2-year-old little boy wandering in a parking lot? Now, if that doesn't make you stop in your tracks, it's happened to me, and I'll look, where's mom, where's dad, where's babysitter, until I find them, right? Well, when this happened, there was no dad, there was no mom, there was no babysitter in sight, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111. First of all, take a listen to our friends at WSVN Fox 7.
This little boy was found roaming the street behind us here. Who is he? Who are his parents? That's what Miramar police are trying to figure out. They gave us some video of the little boy. The video was taken not long after he was found in the area of 1860 Southwest 68th Avenue. Police believe he's 2 to 3 years old. He was wearing only a t-shirt and diapers, no shoes. Police have been going door to door with flyers, hoping to find the child's family, but so far, no luck. Ebony Williams is the person who found the child and called for help.
When I got out of my car, I heard the baby crying. So I walked over and I realized he was by himself. I asked him, where's your mommy? And he kind of just pointed kind of like everywhere. And I reached out my hand for him. He grabbed my hand and I just walked around the complex hoping that I would find somebody looking for him or calling his name.
And that never happened.
You're hearing the voice of a Good Samaritan, Ebony Williams, speaking with Seven's Jessica Holly. That disturbs me. It actually hurts because I'm thinking of my twins, John David and Lucy, at 2 years old. Lucy had just started walking. And they were still wobbling on their feet and legs. And this Good Samaritan, Ebony Williams, asked, where's mommy? And the little boy just kind of points everywhere. And that's what I want to know today. Where is mommy? With me, an all-star panel to break it down and put it back together again. Longtime trial lawyer, defense attorney, family lawyer specialist, Randy Kessler. Joining me out of the Atlanta jurisdiction, Dr. Daniel Bober, renowned forensic psychiatrist. Joining me out of Florida, you can find him on Insta at Dr. Daniel Bober. James Shelnut, 27 years on Metro Major case. Now lawyer at ShelnutLawFirm.com. But first, to CrimeOnline.com, investigative reporter Levi Page. Levi, tell me what happened. Now, this is in Miramar, correct?
You're correct, Nancy. So July 26th.
Wait a minute. Wait.
In Miramar,
Wait. Hold your horses. Did you ever see that program? I was just talking about it, City Confidential with Bill Curtis. I watched that incessantly when I'd be working out with my now husband. And you start with this. It's great. And you start with the city and the area. And you try to figure out, like, put yourself there, Levi. This is Miramar, Florida, which is South Florida, which is kind of like a bedroom community, I think, of Miami. Population about 120,000 people. Not big. And we're in some parking lot. Okay, take it from there, Levi. First of all, what kind of parking lot was it? Was it Walmart? Was it Target? Was it some fancy mall like Neiman Marcus? Was it an apartment? What kind of a parking lot was it?
It was the parking lot of Edge Apartments in Miramar, Florida, halfway between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. And this woman discovered a little boy, curly hair. He was barefoot, and he was wandering around this parking lot. She reached her hand out. He grabbed her hand, and she said, "Where is your mommy?" And he couldn't talk very well, so he's obviously very young, a toddler. And she called police. She changed his diaper, and police got there. They couldn't get much information out of him, so he was sent to Florida Department of Families and Children.
Right there, Randy Kessler. How much God was watching out for this little boy. Anybody could have gotten that boy. Some perv could have gotten him. Someone could have taken him and he would never have been seen again. You know, that happens every day. You know, when I first prosecuted child rape cases, I prosecuted them as statutory rape. We didn't call it child sex trafficking then, but that's what it is now. And to think this 2-year-old little boy, can you hear that, with the curly hair and the t-shirt, tells me a lot, Randy Kessler, that he was out in nothing but a diaper and no shoes. But I'll go into the forensic signals later. But Randy, family law, what would people give on today's black market to adopt a 2-year-old little boy with beautiful curly hair? How much money, Kessler? Go ahead and tell me. 60, 70, 80 grand?
Thank goodness I have no idea, and I have no interest in
Yes, you do.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and that's why we're spending so much money and resources on trying to prevent that kind of stuff. But, the silver lining is that the child was found, right? So, boy, does that change motives.
But are you trying to tell me you don't know about a black market adoption?
I don't know the rates, and I don't know the going rates, and I have no interest to know because $1 is too much, and it shouldn't be out there. But you're right. There are a lot of
You've
people.
never had a family fight over custody of a cute little baby?
When you put it like that, right? Lawyer fees and what they would spend to take custody of their own child, they'll spend everything they have.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars to fight over if you get joint, or if you get every other weekend, or if you get every weekend, or if you get Tuesday through Thursday or Friday through blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm just going to stay married, okay? Because I just can't go through it. Let me go to you, James.
Take about your 401k. That's right.
Oh, James Shelnut, how much would this child go for on the black market? Adoption. I mean, it could be up to 60, 80 grand, depending on who wants the
absolutely.
baby.
And, you actually have reports of sites online now on the black web where people actually bid and the child goes to the highest bidder. It would have been a lot.
It's always such a joy talking to you, Shelnut. I mean, I hadn't even thought about a bid, like in the movie with Brooke Shields, Pretty Baby. Remember that, Jackie, where everybody bid on Brooke Shields? I only know about it. I didn't see it, but I do know the plot line. I didn't know that, Shelnut. People actually bid online to get a child.
Oh, absolutely. Some people are desperate. Some people are evil, and some people are both.
Take a listen to our friends at WPLG Local 10. This is Leanne Morjan.
Police in Miramar say they now know who this little boy and his mother are. Right now, they're looking for 21-year-old Leila Cavett. She's missing, and her 2-year-old son was found at a Miramar apartment complex Sunday morning. His name is Kamdyn Cavett Arnold. Miramar police shared his photo to social media, and it went viral. The image eventually reaching Cavett's sisters.
Of course, 100%. That's Kamdyn. No question in my mind. But the question is, why are they in Florida?
In Florida, more than 12 hours away from home in Jasper, Alabama. They say the family has no connections to South Florida.
We're in the middle of a pandemic, so it's not like she was taking a vacation just out of the blue.
Kamdyn was found here in the parking lot of the Edge apartment complex by a woman who just left home to run an errand.
I asked him, where's your mommy? And he kind of just pointed everywhere.
But it seemed the boy was all alone, so Ebony called police. Investigators created flyers, went door to door, and posted on social media.
It was because the post went viral that we were even able to see him.
Let me pause and thank our partner in making today's program possible. It's Kansas City Steaks. Planning dinner can be hard when everybody wants something different. The easy solution is to fire up the grill and open your latest delivery from Kansas City Steaks. Kansas City Steaks has basically every cut of meat you can think of. Filet mignon, ribeye, strip steaks, plus pork, chicken, seafood, sides, and even desserts. And all that big, bold, mouth-watering flavor delivered straight to your door. And ours too. No more trudging up and down the aisles at the grocery store. With Kansas City Steaks, you get to enjoy steakhouse quality and the comfort of your own backyard or kitchen. Find your perfect combo today at kansascitysteaks.com. Right now, they're offering an amazing deal. Go to kansascitysteaks.com, use promo code Nancy at checkout, get 10 free steak burgers and free shipping on orders of $75 or more. You can also call 800-987-8325. Mention code Nancy and get the special offer. That's kansascitysteaks.com. Enter code Nancy at checkout or just call 1-800-987-8325. Make sure you mention code Nancy. kansascitysteaks.com. Thanks, Kansas City Steaks. Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Guys, we were talking about a little 2-year-old curly-headed boy who was found wearing nothing but a tank top, no shoes, no socks, nothing else. And he couldn't communicate where he lived, where he's from, his mommy's name, nothing. He could give no leads whatsoever. So to you, James Shelnut, 27 years Metro Major case, now lawyer at shelnutlawfirm.com. That's the conundrum. How do you identify this missing baby? We know now how it happened. We know now that the photo was released online, and I remember when it happened, just not too long ago, and it went viral of everybody trying to identify this baby. And Shelnut, do you know how many times between Court TV and HLN and Oxygen and here and that I've put out a picture of a child and no one has ever identified the child? So where do you start when you're trying to identify an unknown child and the child cannot communicate?
Well, I think the police did a great job here. They set an example of what you should do. They started passing out this child's picture immediately to the media, both social media, both on television, and they did a great job of disseminating this child's picture.
Okay, I appreciate the patting on the back to all your friends in the police force, and I'm happy for you. But let me get back to the question, okay? If I had you on the stand, I go, objection, non-responsive. I'll repeat the question, where typically, when you don't have a child, when you don't have a name or a child, do police start to identify the child?
Well, you start by taking a look, obviously after disseminating that information, you start by taking a look at where that child was found and seeing if anyone around where this child was found knows this child, has seen this child about.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. You heard what the sister said. Take a listen to WSVN Fox News. This is Katrina Bush.
Miramar police officers were back in the neighborhood where a woman found a child wandering alone. Detectives confirm they're reviewing surveillance video again as they investigate the disappearance of his mother. Still no word on 21-year-old Leila Cavett. Detectives tell 7 News she had been driving this white Chevy 3500 truck, mid to late 90s model with a maroon or red tailgate and a baby on board sign.
I definitely just want to know that my sister is okay. That's our main concern and only concern right now.
Cavett's from Alabama after finding out what was going on online. The last time the family heard from her was over the weekend through Facebook.
She sent her grandmother a thumbs up on Facebook. It's the last contact that we've known.
So, did you hear that, guys? CrimeOnline.com investigative reporter Levi, the mom of this little boy, is Leila Cavett. And did I hear her sister say she lived 12 hours?
And recently moved to Dawsonville, Georgia, which is 700 miles away from South Florida, a 10-hour drive.
Yeah, I heard the sister say 12, so that you must be taking into account her recent move to Dawsonville. And as the sister of Leila Cavett pointed out, in the middle of coronavirus, she wasn't taking a vacation or traveling at all. So how does this little boy end up alone with no shoes, wearing only a diaper and a t-shirt, wandering in the Edge apartment building parking lot to be found happenstance by a good Samaritan, Ebony Williams? That's my question. And where is Leila Cavett? Now, let me go back to you, Levi Page, Crime Online. Explain to me the last known contact with mommy.
So it was with her grandmother. Her grandmother lives in Nashville, and she said on July 26th, which is the same day that Kamdyn was found wandering in this apartment complex parking lot, she got a thumbs up on Facebook Messenger from Leila.
That's very interesting.
It's an emoji that says thumbs up.
I have 12-year-old twins. I know what emojis are.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Although their father said something like emoji or image or something like that, and they have been having a field day with that ever since. Dr. Daniel Bober joining me, forensic psychiatrist. You can follow him on Insta at Dr. Daniel Bober. Dr. Bober, you know what's interesting about that last known communication with mommy, Leila Cavett? It was just the thumbs up emoji. That's all it was. It wasn't, hey guys, I'm driving the baby down to Florida, or I'm going on a road trip, or everything's cool, let's get together this weekend, Mom. Nothing like that. It was just an emoji. What does that say to you, Dr. Daniel Bober?
It says to me that maybe it wasn't her who sent it, that it's totally generic and it's not, something that would be expected from someone who you have a close relationship with. There's no detail. It's just something that could have been sent by anybody.
I was just thinking, I don't believe and we text all the time. Not a lot of phone calls, but we text a lot during the day, back and forth between me and my husband, David. And even if I go jogging or on a walk, I text back and forth with the twins the whole time. I don't believe any of us have ever sent a thumbs up to each other. Jackie, have I ever sent you a thumbs up?
No.
Have you ever sent me a thumbs up?
No.
No. Have we, John? Illy? No. Brett? No. That's odd. That's very odd indeed. The thumbs up sign. Randy Kessler joining me, defense attorney in multiple jurisdictions and family law specialist. Randy, you and I have seen on many investigations, as have you, Shelnut, where someone hijacks your laptop or your iPad or your phone, and to cover their tracks, they start communicating with your loved ones. They'll look at your last text and they'll just send that person an emoji, a smiley face or a heart or a thumbs up in this case, to give the appearance the person is still alive. That takes a lot of cunning. Would you agree or disagree, Randy Kessler?
Oh, we've seen a lot more than that even. We've seen people create alibis. We've seen them create, harsh words and alienation and saying, you'll never see your child again, and pretend that it came from their spouse to be able to prove that their spouse is alienating their child. So this is minor. This is believable, but they just wanted to drag it on and delay the police and the authorities from coming after them and saying everything's okay and give them a head start to wherever they were going. Absolutely, that's an explanation.
So you're telling me in divorce cases, one parent will pretend to be the other parent and send, in reality, themselves lewd or threatening emails or texts to make it look bad for their spouse in court? Is that what you're saying?
Not only that, they'll hire people, they'll buy apps, or they'll even post on their spouse's social media as if they are their spouse, and then use it as evidence.
What did you just say about buying an app?
They're looking for apps. They're looking for devices, ways to go in, and they're paying they're people, they're professionals that will do this for them. That will say,
I don't know what you mean by buying an app. How does buying an app help you commit this fraud?
It helps you create an alibi, or lets you have an alias, or lets you send an email that looks like it came from your spouse when it really came from you. You have your husband's name and email going to you, so it looks like he wrote you an email saying you will never see your children again, and you show that to the judge and say, look at what my husband wrote me, when really the app or the platform lets you create the alias email.
What app would that be? I don't know about that app.
I don't know it either. I just know it exists, and I've had specialists testify in court that it was not created by my client.
Well, is that Shelnut jumping in?
No, Nancy, it's Levi. There's like spoof apps that you can download on the internet.
A spoof
where
app,
you can
yeah.
spoof someone's email.
It concerns me that you know that. Let me pause and thank our partner making today's program possible. It's Helix Sleep. Finding the perfect mattress can feel like a chore sometimes, but not with Helix Sleep. Helix has a 2-minute quiz that matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Get rid of the guesswork. Helix knows that everyone's unique. They offer several different mattress models. They've got soft, medium, and firm mattresses to keep you cool, and even a Helix Plus mattress for those that need extra room. And if you're a couple, take the quiz together. It will match you to the best compromise for the both of you. We've been sleeping on the same mattress for years, and lately my husband David has woken
woken up with a stiff back. We took the Helix quiz and were matched to the Helix Dusk Luxe mattress. It also came with 2 of their dream pillows, which feel just like they sound, a dream. Go to helixsleep.com/Nancy. Helix promises the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They'll even pick the mattress up if you don't love it, but you will. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Nancy. HELIX sleep.com/Nancy. Thanks, Helix. Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Guys, we're talking about a gorgeous young mom, Leila Cavett. Her little boy, I can't even think about the twins. One of my children or both wandering in a parking lot and I'm nowhere around. That's what happened. And because that happened with Kamdyn, that's how we know who mommy is, because of the little baby's picture getting disseminated everywhere. Family sees it, coincidentally, and they go, that's the baby. That leads me to the fact that mommy is gone. Where is Leila? Take a listen to our friends at 11 Alive.
Police say Leila Cavett's pickup truck disappeared too. An old white Chevy 3500 with a red tailgate and a sign "Baby on Board" in the passenger window. Cavett tattooed Kamdyn's name on the inside of her right arm, and on her right wrist, a tattoo of the Christian fish symbol. Parents who live in the neighborhood where Kamdyn was found are shaken too.
For a little boy to be wandering out like that, something must be seriously wrong with him.
And police are asking people here who know Leila Cavett, possibly people in the Dawson County area as well. They're hoping that they will call 911 if they have any information that might help police figure out what happened and where she is.
That's a very, very identifiable vehicle. I believe they said a Ford F-150 white with a different color top with particular signs on it. Guys, at this point, is all we have to go with is her truck. Now take a listen to CBS 4 Miami's Elliot Rodriguez.
His mother's truck turned up in Hollywood, but she was not in it, and her grandparents just arrived in South Florida to join in the search.
We are here to help find her and to get our great-grandson if possible.
Carol and Robert Ferdinand came from Nashville, Tennessee to South Florida, hoping to find their 21-year-old granddaughter, Leila Cavett. She's the missing mother of 2-year-old Kamdyn, found wandering in Miramar Sunday.
I think she's been snatched about the streets. She would have never left her baby. Never. That's my granddaughter. I know her. She would have never left Kamdyn running in those streets. That's not her. That's not her character.
Hollywood police say Cavett was in this Chevy pickup truck found in a Walmart parking lot at 441 in Hollywood Boulevard. It's the same area where police say the young mother was last seen. Leila's 3 sisters arrived from Alabama Tuesday after learning Leila, who lives in Georgia, was missing so far from home.
And that's the biggest question we have, is why she was in Florida. We don't know. That is the biggest mystery of this entire situation.
You know, I'm just thinking before I get into the vehicle, it's a white white Ford F-150 pickup with a red tailgate. I want to go to you, Dr. Daniel Bober. I've recounted to you before how John David went missing in a Baby Zero superstore. They're huge. They're like an acre of baby stuff. And what went through my mind when I couldn't find him, I'm just thinking about this family. You just heard that Carolyn and Robert Ferdinand has driven down, the 10 or 12 hours to Florida to look for Leila Cavett, now missing. We wouldn't have known she was missing if the little baby hadn't been found. Guys, let me give you the tip line. It's 954-967-4411. Repeat, 954-967-4411. or 954-493-TIPS, TIPS, 954-493-8477. What goes through the family's mind is sheer terror. And then you get, after a couple of days, you get to sheer exhaustion, mentally and physically pushed to the brink, looking for your loved one. To Dr. Daniel Bober, have you ever dealt with that kind of pain in one of your clients and what they go through? I think the mental exhaustion would be worse than the physical exhaustion.
Unfortunately, Nancy, yes, I have. And it starts out with absolute horror and shock. And at some point, when the child is missing long enough, you start sort of bargaining in your head that you would rather know what happened to the child. Just the not knowing is the hardest part, whether they're dead or alive. Just living with that uncertainty and that pain and knowing that, you know, they're either dead or they're somewhere. Are they safe? Are they being taken care of? It's just horrific.
You know, I've said that Miramar is only about 122,000 people, more than where I grew up in rural middle Georgia, but it's very close to Miami with well over 1 million residents. So to you, Shelnut, how does that make the search for the mom, Leila Cavett, even more difficult?
Well, I mean, it's a much larger area, a much larger possible base of suspects. You know, they're certainly going to be looking for people that she talked to, but they're also going to be looking for people who are known predators in that area, sexual offenders who may have lived close by.
There's a lot of them in Miami, too. Let me tell you that.
A ton. And so it definitely broadens the scope of your investigation.
Guys, I've been saying a Ford. It's a Chevy. It's not a Ford F-150. It's a Chevy 3500, a late 90 Chevy 3500, red tailgate, baby on board sign in passenger window. Police say the vehicle was later found abandoned in Hollywood, Florida. So to you, Levi Page, what can you tell me about the vehicle? Were there signs of struggle? Was there blood? Was her pocketbook, her cell phone, her keys? What was in the vehicle? What do we know about that?
So, Nancy, we don't know about what condition the vehicle was in, if there was any signs of foul play in this vehicle. The police are keeping that tight-lipped, but it is a Chevy Silverado mid to late 90s model with a baby on board sign on the passenger window, and the truck was found in a Walmart in Hollywood, Florida, about 10 miles away from where that little Kamdyn
I don't know why
found.
That reporter said this looks shabby. Does that look shabby to you? No. That looks like a nice pickup to me. So it's found there, and we don't know whether there's any sign of struggle or anything like that, Levi?
We do not know.
Guys, take a listen to this.
The truck Cavett was in has been found too. It's a white Chevy truck with a baby on board sign. Hollywood detectives are now labeling this a missing persons investigation. Her grandparents fear the worst, especially because they say she always kept her son close.
I think somebody snatched her off the streets and she pleaded with them to let the baby go. You know, that's why they found her wandering around, because she would never leave that baby. That's her heart. That's her life.
The Hollywood Police Department is now the lead agency on this investigation. And while they haven't released any other details about Cavett's disappearance, her family plans to try to search for her themselves.
I've just been praying to God, you know, and if someone out there that can help us find her, to know where she is, we would greatly appreciate their help.
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Where is Leila Cavett? That's the question asked right now by so many. Let me give you the tip line again, 954-967-4411. We are talking about a beautiful baby boy, Kamdyn, 2 years old. I'm looking at his picture right now, and he's beautiful. I got to show you the picture. This is of him eating an apple, and he is gorgeous. Look at this little guy with the curly, kind of
gold-looking hair. Look at him. Can you imagine this little guy wandering alone in a parking lot, barefoot, and a diaper and a t-shirt? When we pull the thread and start to unravel, we find out Mommy is missing. She would never have left her baby. Back to Levi Page, CrimeOnline.com investigative reporter. Tell me about the search for Leila Cavett.
Well, Nancy, we know that she is 5 foot 4 inches tall, 110 pounds. She has Kamdyn and a Jesus fish, that symbol, on her wrist, tattooed on her wrist, and she was last seen in that white pickup truck, that Chevy Silverado that was discovered abandoned at Walmart. And we know that the FBI is assisting local authorities in this search.
When you say she was last seen in that vehicle, when was she last seen? As it relates to finding the baby, when was she last seen? How many days before the baby was found?
July 26th. It was the day that the baby was found. She was seen driving in that vehicle, according to the Hollywood Police Department.
How many days? 1?
Yes.
So that's fairly close in as far as a timeline. To you, James Shelnut, let's talk about the timeline. What do you make of it?
I think it's important because, you find the truck after you have found this baby. And, the baby's wandering this complex. You're looking for mom, and then you find the truck. I would like to know exactly when that truck was dropped off and when it was found. I would like to know also the last time for sure that it was verified by someone that she talked with someone or saw someone. The police have indicated that they may have some type of surveillance. I believe I read in one of the articles, some type of surveillance video. I'd like to know exactly when and where that was in relation to where the truck was found.
I'm understanding that she was last seen in the Hollywood area. How far away is Hollywood, Florida from Miramar? Do we know that, Levi Page?
15 or 20 minutes.
So not far at all.
10 miles. I live in Hollywood, Nancy. That's where I live.
Oh, is that you, Dr. Bober?
Yeah, I live in Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, tell me about the area, Dr. Bober, because that's important to me. Is it highly populated?
It's about 140,000 people. It's kind of the major city wedged in there between Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, that could be anybody, right? That's like the traffic between New York and New Jersey, between Hollywood and, between Fort Lauderdale and Miami.
Hollywood is about 25 minutes from Miami, and it's about 15 minutes from Fort Lauderdale.
And it concerns me even more as we're trying to identify where she is and who took her. Obviously, someone took her. Is that it's not like she goes missing on her jog outside of her home in rural wherever, because that limits you largely to people in that area as the perp.
Right, it could be any population center. Right.
Yes, Dr. Bober, because here this could be people, truckers coming down to Miami from New York. It could be tourists.
Right, the I-95 is right here, so it could be anyone on the interstate.
And you know what that reminds me of, James Shelnut? I don't know if you remember the case of Dylan and Shasta Groney. And they were up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. They were swimming, playing at an above-ground pool in the backyard with their family. And a guy goes by on the interstate and sees the little girl in her swimsuit. He goes later, wipes out the whole family, and takes Dylan and Shasta. Kills everybody else. And so you'd think in rural Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, that's not going to happen. But it does happen. When someone just...
Actually, Nancy, it's probably about not even 2 minutes away from where Adam Walsh was kidnapped.
Oh, my stars. Wow.
From the Hollywood Mall.
Right there in a Sears Roebuck.
Exactly.
In a mall. Okay, back to you. Levi Page, what more can you tell me?
We know that the FBI is also involved and that the family has hired a law firm to represent them, and they are currently trying to gain access to Leila's Facebook messages to see if they can see who she was communicating with before she went missing and why she exactly was in Florida. We know that her father has stated that he thinks that she met someone on a dating app, and that's why she was in South Florida.
No. Does it never end, Randy Kessler, with the dating apps? Ever? Will there ever be a day that we don't report it's always a woman? I mean, really?
It's unbelievable. I mean, that whole term, catfishing is so 10 years ago by now. I mean, it's just unbelievable that people still fall for things and trust people they've never met, and there's no way to vet. And, like people have these desires and they just follow through on them without, they throw common sense out the window.
Here's another family law issue for you, Randy Kessler, because this is so critical at this juncture. Right now, I understand the father, Kamdyn's father, is trying desperately to get Kamdyn. I think he's under CPS, Child Protective Services. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, right? So I don't want this baby with Child Protective Services, but they're making the father prove he's the father. I guess he and Leila had broken up. I don't know that they were ever legally married. So now he's got to prove he's the father. So how can we avoid something like that happening?
Boy, it's more funding. CPS, I feel for them, and they always get a bad rap. They're underpaid and overworked. They get in trouble when they don't remove a child that gets hurt, and if they leave a child with, so they're always in the spotlight because we always want them to play God and to be able to save the world. And there's just not enough funding. We need more.
Oh, please don't get me started on CPS. What I'm talking about is the father of the bio dad of Kamdyn is now having to jump through hoops to prove he's the father, I guess through a DNA analysis. So every minute counts when you've got a child in a foster home. Every minute that child, in my mind, is in danger. So How do you avoid this delay? He's got to prove scientifically he's Kamdyn's father.
You take the test. If you said, I got to do something to see my child, I'd go.
No, of course he's going to take the test, but how do you, Randy, you have an excellent reputation as a lawyer. So let me repeat my question for the third time. Wait, maybe fourth. I'm losing count. How do you avoid the situation of them not knowing who the father is?
I don't know. You take the test. DNA testing is so simple now that you just have rapid testing.
You know what? I would have something like a formal order or legal agreement with the mother that as to when I could see the baby, stating that I'm the bio dad, showing my child support payments, some type of legal documentation that is my child, the birth certificate with your name on it, something like that. Ding, ding, ding.
That's because you're smart. You're smart and you're a lawyer.
You know what? I'll be at your office today to take over the whole kit and caboodle. I'm moving in. I'm taking over, okay? You start sending all those big checks to me. The twins will love it. Guys, one last time. Leila Cavett, missing. Her baby is in Child Protective Services right now, in some foster care. I don't want that. I want to find Leila Cavett. Phone number 954-967-4411. Please help us. Nancy Grace, Crime Story, signing off. Goodbye, friend. Hey guys, are you a crime junkie like me? Let me pause one moment and tell you about